Well, for two reasons. Number one is love in its true meaning is the very key to salvation. In its true meaning now, and I'm talking in its Bible's meaning. And another reason you would do this lesson is many people just don't know what love is. All right? They just don't know what it is. Don't know what it look like, don't know what it smells like. All right? And love is one of those misused words. You know, like we misuse a bunch of words. Mm-hmm. The word sanctuary, we misuse that word. Love is the word that we misuse. We get away from what God called that word, and we gravitate over to what man has made us to think that word means. But today, in today's lesson, we're going to see what love is according to God. We're going to see what love looks like when it's given to us, and we're going to see what it looks like when we put it. Do you really love me? Huh? And then some people have even come in here and say, man, ain't no love in there. Well, maybe the place is full of love, but you didn't recognize it because you think love is something else. Okay? Love ain't me coming to your barbecue. Y'all hear me?
That's right.
Some people have mistaken what that word really means, and they expect one thing, but when they get something else and it's not what they expect, then they say, hey, you don't love me. But let's go in this lesson today and let's see what love really is. So let's start in Ephesians 5, Brother Todd, and let's pick it up at that first verse, Ephesians 5:1. Ephesians 5:1, my brother, go ahead and read it.
Be ye therefore followers of God, as dear children.
Yes.
And walk in love, as Christ also hath loved us, and hath given himself for us, an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet-smelling savor.
Do y'all see what that love right there looks like? How Jesus loved us? He let himself get spit on, slapped around, nailed to some wood, and hung up. And stuck through with a spearhead sword and spilled that blood on the ground. He sacrificed something because he loved us. And in a lot of cases, love means you will sacrifice or give up something. Folks will tell you they love you and they ain't going to give up nothing for you. So is it really love? Huh? Go ahead and read, brother.
But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becometh saints.
Because with those things, love is not attached to that kind of stuff. Go ahead and read.
Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. For this ye know, that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man, who is an idolater, have any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God.
See, we started off by saying follow Christ and walk in love, right?
Right.
If you're doing any of those things, you're not walking in love. You're not walking any of those sins. And he read all that law to us before we even got started. You partaking in any of those, there's no love in that, okay? And then, to top it off, you have no part in the kingdom of God, okay? Go ahead and read.
Let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of these things cometh the wrath of God upon the children of disobedience.
See, we went to the opposite end of the spectrum. We went to walking in love, keeping those commandments, and then you went to disobedience on the opposite end. So there's no love.
Be not ye therefore partakers with them.
Why?
For ye were sometimes darkness, but now are ye light in the Lord. Walk as children of light.
Go ahead.
For the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness.
The fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness, and what else?
And righteousness and truth.
And all that stuff is wrapped up in what we just read in Exodus 20, Ecclesiastes 12, and Revelation 22, and that's keeping those commandments. Because if you're keeping them, then you are in the fruit of the Spirit of goodness and righteousness and truth. Go ahead and read.
Proving what is acceptable unto the Lord.
Yes, sir. So now let's go to Galatians chapter 5. Proving what is acceptable unto the Lord. You know if what you're doing is acceptable to him or not. And man, I'm telling y'all just this one thing that's just bothering me. A brother was telling me how he was going to commit a sin, and in the same breath, in the next sentence, he was telling me that he wanted to show me some scriptures of how we saved already. I'm bothered by that, y'all. That's why I had to do that thing with Julius on the Balm of Gilead Thursday about that you saved right now, man. Because you want to commit sin, then you going to fool yourself into thinking you saved now, so that sin you doing is okay with you. It sits well in your memory. What is? That ain't one. And I know the brother. I've hung out with the brother. That's why it's bothering me, man. Look, y'all, pray to the Lord that he don't take your sanity from you. He don't take his word from you. When you talk to him, holler at him about that. Because I see people all the time, their sanity just gets stripped away from them. Reason gets stripped away. Dragging after that. And I hope that don't happen to this brother. Galatians 5:22. Go ahead and read it, brother.
But the fruit of the Spirit is love.
The fruit of the Spirit is what?
Is love.
So that's the first thing come up on this list of what the fruit of the Spirit is.
Right.
The first thing is love. Today we going to find out what love is, y'all. Go ahead and read, brother.
Joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith,
Yes.
meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
Ain't no law against none of that stuff he just named. Joy, peace, long suffering, okay, temperance, no law. Let's go Psalm 97, because these are the things the Lord wants us to do. He wants us to have ourselves, because it's all a part of what he is, okay? And he's looking for people like all that stuff. You gonna make the cut, or you verse, brother. Verse 10. Y'all pay attention to this here. Read that.
Ye that love the Lord, hate evil.
Y'all see that? People that love God. Now, we talking love. Now, do you really love the Lord? Because if you do, then you should hate evil. You should hate to see somebody committing any kind of sin. Right. And like I said the last time I was here, sometimes some sin, somebody might see it as lighter than the other thing. But sin is sin. And James told you when you do one, you did all of it. I hate to look out here and see people that I know should be here and can be here and not. It bothers me. But you James gonna be there. Supposed to be. Okay? Finish that verse, brother.
He preserveth the souls of his saints.
Y'all see that he preserved the soul of his saints. And we know the definition of a saint is in Revelation 14, verse 12. They keep the commandments and the faith of Jesus. That's what a saint is. And saints love the Lord and they hate evil. Go ahead and read.
He delivered them out of the hand of the wicked.
And he will deliver you. So now, let's go into Proverbs chapter 8. Let's go into Proverbs 8. We read that saints, Lord, they hate evil. If you love the Lord, you hate evil. Let's remember that as we read this next piece. Proverbs chapter 8. Let's pick it up at verse 13. It says, if you love God now, you hate evil. You hate sin. Proverbs 8, verse 13. Go ahead and read it.
The fear of the Lord is to hate evil.
You see that? We read in one spot, if you love God, you hate evil. In another spot, it say, if you fear God, you hate evil. Some people don't have enough fear. Right. They think I'm going to do all of this one commandment, that's the one I'm going to break. And the Lord should be cool that no, he's not. No, he is not. Don't fool yourself. Go ahead and read. Will you finish with 13?
No.
Go ahead.
Pride and arrogancy and the evil way, and the froward mouth do I hate.
It said, hey, when you fear God and you love God, you hate those kind of things. Skip down to verse 17.
I love them that love
Do
me.
y'all see that? So much for God loving everybody. He him. Okay, go ahead and read.
And those that seek me early shall find me.
Okay, if you seek him early, you're going to find him. Skip on down, my brother, to verse 20 and read it.
I lead in the way of righteousness, in the midst of the paths of judgment.
Go ahead.
That I may cause those that love me to inherit substance.
So he said he's going to cause one that love him, they're going to inherit substance. Okay, that's the inheritance that the Lord wants you to have if you will follow him. To John 14 and look at something. Let's read verse 15 and then skip to verse 21. Because he says here that he's going to cause the one that love him to inherit substance. Why? Because he's leading you in the way of righteousness. All you have to do is follow. We started off by telling you to walk in love and walk after Jesus, right?
Right.
We started off with that. John chapter 14, let's read verse 15. Now this is Jesus talking right here. 14 and 15, my brother, what did it say?
If you love me, keep my commandments.
So we read, if you love the Lord, you hate evil. So if you love him, go ahead and read. You'll skip down to 21.
He that hath my commandments and keepeth them, he it is that loveth me. And he that loveth me shall be loved of my Father.
Yes.
And I will love him and will manifest myself to him.
Now that's the same thing we do in Proverbs 8 and 17. He said, I love them that love me. Right. And so the ones that love him are simply described as the ones that keep him. All that simple. This is a very, it's very simple. It's easy to understand. And we don't come up here to make company. The first time in here, you got the lesson. You see that? So we have to break it down and make it just that simple. It's all that simple. And if you breaking the commandments, you don't. Yes, I'm saying that because we are reading that. Didn't you read that verse? And then he said, if you keeping the commandments, the Father will love you. And then Jesus said, I'll love you. And then I'll manifest myself to you. How can you beat that, brothers and sisters? Your requirement is that's your requirement, okay? So now, let's move on. Let's go to John chapter 11, okay? Because the question oftentimes is, do you have the capacity to love somebody? Can you love your God? Can you love your God? Huh? Let's get that worked out first, and then let's see if you can love your fellow man. Let's see if you can love God first. Because what you don't understand is, within loving God, you are loving your fellow man. Okay? Because he told you don't steal and don't kill. Right. If I didn't steal your stuff and I didn't kill you, that's love. Yes, I don't have to come up and hug and swap spit with you. Huh? I didn't take your stuff. That's love right there. So now, let's go John 11, and let's look at love. Let's apply what we just read in John 14. Let's look at it applied right here, okay? Let's go John 11. Let's pick it up at that first verse. 11.
Now a certain man was sick, named Lazarus of Bethany.
Yes.
The town of Mary and her sister Martha. It was that Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick.
Go ahead.
Therefore his sister sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick.
Y'all see that? They said to Jesus, they say, hey, behold, the one that you love, he's sick. So what is, just by us reading that, what do we know about Lazarus, y'all? He kept them commandments. Right. We know that about him because we've been reading. Okay? So skip down, my brother, verse 5. What did it say?
Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus.
So he loved Martha and Mary too. So what that tell us about them? They kept the commandments.
Right.
This stuff ain't hard, y'all. Okay? It's real simple. You can talk about how much you love Jesus all you want. But if you ain't keeping them commandments, you just blowing smoke. And you wasting my time. Skip down to 21.
Then said Martha unto Jesus, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died.
Now watch this. Skip down to 23 and read that.
Jesus saith unto her, Thy brother shall rise again. Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day.
Go ahead.
Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live.
Y'all see that? So we talking about a man that loved Jesus and kept them commandments, and Jesus loved him. So if you are dwelling in that love, then your prize is eternal life.
Right.
That's your prize. Slide right on into the Father's kingdom. That's what love, and I'm talking love according to this Bible, will get you. Okay? That's what we're talking about here. So we see what we read in John 14 applied. So now let's go into 1 Kings 21. Because we read those commandments before we started this lesson. And all of them, every one of them, all 10 of them is about loving God. Even though some of them apply specifically to how you deal with your fellow man. But even in being obedient to those, it shows love toward God. Okay? Even those. 1 Kings 21. Let's look at something. 1 Kings chapter 21, my brother. Go ahead and read that verse 1.
And it came to pass after these things that Naboth the Jezreelite had a vineyard,
Yes.
which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria. And Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, Give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house. And I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it.
So Ahab is going and Naboth said, I'm going to give you a vineyard better than yours. Then why do you want to use that one? Why is it just because it's close to the palace if it means so much to you? If it's better, then use it. It should be more fruitful, right? Go ahead and read.
Or if it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money. And Naboth said to Ahab, The Lord forbidded me that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto thee.
So now look, we see the first sin Ahab committed right here. He coveted that man's property.
Right.
Y'all see that? And that sin right there, that's the 10th commandment. And y'all, if y'all notice, it's got the second most words in it than all the rest of the commandments. The one about the Sabbath got the most words in it. That 10th commandment is wordy. Okay? It was letting you know you're not supposed to do this. So let's see what this one sin right here, coveting somebody else's property, let's see what that sin leads to. Go ahead and read, brother.
And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him. For he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid him down upon his bed and turned away his face and would eat no bread.
Now I want y'all to recognize right here, by Ahab wanting that man's stuff, he wasn't loving that brother. That ain't no love for me to want your stuff. That's not love according to the Bible. Go ahead and read.
But Jezebel, his wife, came to him and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad that thou eatest no bread?
Go ahead.
And he said unto her, Because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite and said unto him, Give me thy vineyard for money.
Yes.
Or else, if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee my vineyard.
So he went in there whining to his wife about it. Go ahead and read.
And Jezebel, his wife, said unto him, Dost thou now govern the kingdom of Israel?
She said, man, you the king of Israel. Go ahead and read.
Arise and eat bread, and let thine heart be merry.
She said, man, get up, eat you some bread, and get happy, because I'm about to fix this thing for you. And he didn't inquire 1 second of how she was going to go about doing that. Go ahead and read.
I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite.
You see that? She said, I'm going to give it to you. How you going to get it, Jezebel? How? Well, let's find out. Go ahead and read, brother.
So she wrote letters in Ahab's name and sealed them with his seal.
Y'all see that? So listen. So here goes the scheme. Because when you going to do a sin, a lot of times you got to plan that thing out. You got to do some scheming. Keeping the commandments don't hardly require no energy. Sit down, pick up your Bible, read it. Close it, pick up your remote control, turn on your TV. Go in your backyard and mess around with your tomato plants. Huh? Sinning don't take no scheme. I mean, keep being obedient. You don't have to scheme. Sinning, you got to plan that out thoroughly. You got to stake out the bank real tough. You got to see what time the Brinks truck come, what time the first person come, what time they unlock the door, all of that. That sinning takes some scheming. So here comes the scheme. Jezebel writing his letters, right? Go ahead and read.
And sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in his city, dwelling with Naboth. And she wrote in the letters, saying, proclaim a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people. And set 2 men, sons of Belial, before him, to bear witness against him, saying, thou didst blaspheme God and the king.
Y'all see that? So here go the next sin. Coveting will turn to bearing false witness. Y'all see that? Now you add a sin to a sin. Why? Because you didn't love your brother Naboth and you coveted his stuff. Go ahead and read.
And then carry him out and stone him that he may die.
Go ahead.
And the men of his city, even the elders and the nobles, who were the inhabitants in his city, did as Jezebel had sent unto them, and as it was written in the letters which she had sent unto them.
Go ahead.
They proclaimed a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people. And there came in 2 men, children of Belial, and sat before him.
Yes.
And the men of Belial witnessed against him.
False witness, that is. Go ahead.
Even against Naboth, in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth did blaspheme God and the king. Then they carried him forth out of the city and stoned him with stones that he died.
Thou shalt not kill. They just broke another commandment. Y'all see that?
Right.
We went from coveting, coming up with a scheme. Then you go into bearing false witness on your brother. Then you killed your brother. Does that smell like love to y'all?
Not at all.
Now, me not loving you, that's what that looks like. Just because I didn't hug you don't mean I don't love you. Just because I don't hang out with you don't mean I don't love you.
Right.
Not loving you, that's what it looks like. This what we looking at right now. That's no love. Go ahead and read.
Then they sent to Jezebel, saying, Naboth is stoned and is dead. And it came to pass, when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned and was dead, that Jezebel said to Ahab, arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth, the Jezreelite, which he refused to give thee for money. For Naboth is not alive, but dead.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, that Ahab that rose up to go down to the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite to take possession of it.
Thou shalt not steal. Y'all see that? Coveting, the first sin, led to 3 more. Y'all see that? That's what no love looks like. So a person can't come in here and say we don't love you. Because none of us would do that to our brothers and sisters in here. I ain't got to come and cook up a spaghetti dinner and invite you to my house to show you that I love you. Y'all got love mixed up. I didn't touch your wife. I didn't lie on you. I didn't steal your stuff. Man, that's love right there, brother. Huh? Is it not?
It is.
So now, let's move on. Let's go to Romans 7:7. Just one verse. Romans 7:7. Because that coveting thing, man, I'm telling you, that's a sin that leads to all the rest of them. And if you don't fight against that organ that's between your ears, brother, I'm telling you, mine gets boxing with me all the time. Yesterday, last night, this morning. Y'all better fight that fleshly brain of yours. It's trying to get you cut off. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your brain trying to get you cut off to doing something you're not supposed to do. Romans 7:7, read it, brother.
What shall we say then? Is the law sin? God forbid.
That's right. The law is not sin. Go ahead.
Nay, I had not known sin, but by the law.
Paul said he didn't know what sin was until he read that law, y'all. And we read it to you before we started the lesson. Go ahead and read.
For I had not known lust, except the law had said, thou shalt not covet.
And that's the first commandment that Ahab broke. And in breaking that one, he wasn't loving his brother, his fellow man. Did y'all see that? Okay, so now let's move on. Let's go to Isaiah 30 and look at what else happened right there once you get on that slippery slope. And I'm telling you, it's slippery. And when I say a slippery slope, I mean it's ice and it's slanted. And once you break your good footing, it's hard to get your footing back once you slip. Because they went from coveting the man's vineyard to coming up with a scheme to get some people to lie on him and then kill the man and then stole his stuff. Because he still had children and relatives that the land was supposed to go to if he lost it. Right. Y'all understand? That one sin led to the rest of them. It's just like not coming to class on the Sabbath day. You sinning right there. So what else you gonna do? What you gonna do while you're at home? Right. You're gonna probably do 2 or 3 more. Yes, sir. And it's not hard. So just don't get out there. Just stay on that, walk that tightrope as best you can. Isaiah 30:1, read it, brother.
Woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord.
Why is that? What they do, brother?
That take counsel, but not of me.
See, you take counsel, but is it of the Lord? Go ahead and read.
And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
What do they do?
That they may add sin to sin.
Y'all see that? That's exactly what they did. They added some sin to another sin. And most times when you do one, some more come in with it. Y'all don't believe me? Let's go to 2 Samuel and see. Let's go see if we can get it another time. 2 Samuel chapter 11. That's why you have to spend a lot of your energy fighting off the first part of it, which is in your brain. Because once it starts manifesting itself in your mind, right, it turns into some words. Then once it turns into some words, then what comes next, y'all? That action comes. So you have to just shake it off and say, Satan, get behind me. I'm not going to do that today. Go ahead on. Find you somebody else, man. Because if you let them hang around and let them thoughts manifest in your head, it turns to something else. And then next thing you know, it's Lord have mercy. No. Resist the devil and he'll flee from you. Don't bring me them crab legs. Right. Go ahead on with that. I was telling Brother Daniel, I had a boxing match from the VA hospital in San Francisco all the way to the airport with the Uber driver. A straight boxing match about the dietary law. I said, so God retired, huh? What year was that? Well, no, I'm not saying that. Well, what you saying? Well, see, the Old Testament and the New Testament. I say, read that to me, man. Man, I read the whole Acts 10 to that brother. And we boxed and we fought. And we boxed. Well, I'm a pastor too. And I read this here and that there. Then a young sister called me and he heard that conversation that we had on the phone. And of course, the Lord had me to say some godly words with wisdom to her. Because I don't know where all that was coming from. Then when I got on the phone, we were pulling up to the airport and we parked. He said, Brother James, man, I love your passion, man. I appreciate you, man. Can you pray for me? Y'all know how the Pharaoh told Moses, go on, serve your God. Pray for me, though. Bless. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like I was telling Brother Daniel, Brother Antoine always like to use the analogy that Cat Williams said, hey, a Chrysler 300 looked like a Bentley till a Bentley pull up. Right. You thought you was a man of God till one hopped in your car. Exactly. It showed you that you didn't know no scripture that you run in your mouth. You thought you was one. I didn't ask him to pray for me. He asked me to pray for him. And then I said, oh, yeah, I can do that, brother, no problem. I said, but you got to remove that cap, though. Pastor. And then he said, oh yeah, that prophesying thing. I did read that too. I said, yeah, man, whatever. 2 Samuel 11:2. Go ahead and read it.
And it came to pass in an evening time that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself. And the woman was very beautiful to look upon. And David sent and inquired after the woman.
So David saw the woman. He liked what he saw. So he sent and inquired about her. What did the inquiry give him, brother?
And one said, is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite?
Okay, so right there, it should have been, okay, let me move on. Let me go on back in the house. But let's see what happens. Go ahead and read.
And David sent messengers and took her.
He coveted the woman, first sin right there. Okay? Because after they told you she was married, your desire for her should have went away. You should have fought that off. But the coveting leads to other stuff. That's why that covet sin is a heavy one and it's dangerous to go out there in that zone. Go ahead and read.
And she came in unto him, and he lay with her.
And so go ahead.
For she was purified from her uncleanness, and she returned unto her house.
So the covet sin led to the adultery sin. Huh? Y'all see that? So did David love her husband?
No.
Do y'all see that? He didn't love her husband. That wasn't no love. That's what no love looks like, brothers and sisters. Don't get it twisted. I ain't got to go bowling with you to show you that I love you. Go ahead and read, brother.
And the woman conceived and sent and told David and said, I am with child.
Go ahead.
And David sent to Joab, saying, send me Uriah the Hittite.
Here comes the scheme. Here it comes. Y'all notice that the scheme is hooked up in the adding sin to sin? Go ahead and read.
And Joab sent Uriah to David. And when Uriah was come unto him, David demanded of him how Joab did, and how the people did, and how the war prospered. And David said to Uriah, go down to thy house and wash thy feet. And Uriah departed out of the king's house. And there followed him a mess of meat from the king.
So it looks like David is showing love. Don't it look like it? According to man's version of what love is. But according to God's definition of love, did David love that brother?
No.
He set the scheme in order. Go on down to your house, my brother. Comfort yourself with your wife, brother. Take some of these good steaks with you, brother. So it can look like that baby's yours. Because I coveted your wife, broke sin number 1. Then I laid with her, committed adultery, broke sin number 2 with my scheme. Go ahead and read, brother.
But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord, and went not down to his house.
So he didn't go home. Go ahead and read.
And when they had told David, saying, Uriah went not down unto his house, David said unto Uriah, camest thou not from thy journey? Why then didst thou not go down unto thine house?
So I'm showing you what you think might be love. Man, why you didn't go home, brother? Go ahead and read.
And Uriah said unto David, the ark and Israel and Judah abide in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped in the open field. Shall I then go into mine house to eat and to drink and to lie with my wife? As thou livest, and as thy soul liveth, I will not do this thing.
So that brother had an honorable position in this thing. He was trying to do what he felt was right and what was equal and equitable to his fellow warriors that's out there at the war. Y'all see that? But with all that goodness and righteousness that brother was walking in, his own king hated him. Probably didn't know him from Adam. You see that? Go ahead and read.
And David said to Uriah, tarry here today also, and tomorrow I will let thee depart. So Uriah abode in Jerusalem that day and the morrow.
Go ahead.
And when David had called him, he did eat and drink before him, and he made him drunk.
So got him full of wine, belly full. Sure enough, he gonna go home now. Go ahead and read.
And that evening he went out to lie on his bed with the servants of his Lord, but went not down to his house.
Do y'all see that? The brother trying to do what he feel is the right thing, right? The honorable thing. Go ahead and read.
And it came to pass in the morning that David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah.
Here comes scheme number 2. Got to have a backup plan. Huh? This sin right here, and this adding sin to sin, he had to go to a backup scheme, y'all. Where he just would have turned around and went in the house and forgot about that sister when it took no effort. Do y'all see that? It's the sinning that take all the effort and the planning it out. Yeah, we do have things in our life that are good that we have to plan out, but that scheme and the sin is a whole different kind of plan. Huh? But go ahead and read, brother.
And he wrote in the letter saying, set Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retire you from him, that he may be smitten and die.
Y'all see that? That's what the letter said that David wrote. Put it in Uriah's hand to take it out there to give to Joab. So Joab can send him over there with the intent to pull everybody else back and leave him and a couple of cats out there so they can get smoked. Y'all see that? Go ahead and read.
And it came to pass, when Joab observed the city, that he assigned Uriah unto a place where he knew that valiant men were.
So he signed him over there where he knew the other nation's SS unit was. You know what I'm saying? The super killers. For sure he gonna get killed over there. Go ahead and read.
And the men of the city went out and fought with Joab. And there fell some of the people of the servants of David. And Uriah the Hittite died also.
So Uriah did die, so David's scheme number 2 worked. Skip down to verse 22 and read.
So the messenger went and came and showed David all that Joab had sent him for. And the messenger said unto David, surely the men prevailed against us, and came out unto us into the field, and we were upon them, even unto the entering of the gate. And the shooters shot from off the wall upon thy servants, and some of the king's servants be dead. And thy servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also.
Thou shalt not kill. You went from the covet to the adultery, and then you went to the murder. You done added 2 sins to the coveting sin. Adding sin to sin. Let's see if you got another one up in there. Now pay attention. Some other people got killed other than Uriah in that. Do y'all see that? Go ahead and read.
Then David said unto the messenger, thus shalt thou say unto Joab.
So David said, well, tell Joab this. Go ahead and read.
Let not this thing displease thee, for the sword devoured one as well as another.
Don't let this get you sad, Joab, because you know that's just part of war. People gonna die. But David, you sent a few men out to the other army's most valiant people. You set up the murders. Go ahead and now watch what he tells Joab here. Go ahead and read.
Make thy battle more strong against the city, and overthrow it, and encourage thou him.
Go on out there and just go on take him, Joab, because he knew Israel could do that. You could have did that at first, and Uriah would have been alive. Y'all see that? Just go on out there and just go on wipe them out, because we can do that. Y'all see that? So the covet went to adultery. It went to murder. Was we done with that, brother?
That was the end of 25.
And then it went to stealing, because he basically stole the man's woman. Because after Uriah was dead, David went and got her. He went and got Bathsheba. Y'all see that? He coveted that man's possession. So did David love Uriah? No, he did not. That's what not showing love looked like. Don't come in here and because everybody don't run up on you and hug you at the back door and then walk out and say, man, ain't no love in Israel of God. Y'all know people came in here and said that? Didn't they say that? Ain't no love in there, man. What kind of love you looking for? Sister? Brother? Huh? I'm dead serious, man. People come in here and say that because everybody just don't rush them and smile at them and hug them and kiss them and invite them to the house. Come on, man. We need to get a little bit more mature in our understanding of this word of God and what love is. We really need to get there. Genesis 39. Let me go show you what a brother who's showing some love looks like. Genesis 39, let's pick it up at verse 7, 39 and 7. Now this brother getting ready to show you what love is, okay? Genesis 39 and 7. Go ahead and read it.
And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, lie with me.
Go ahead.
But he refused.
So Joseph's the guy who basically had Joseph as his servant in his house, his wife looked up on Joseph. She liked him. And she said, lay with me. And then he said he refused to do that. Go ahead and read.
And said unto his master's wife, behold, my master wotteth not what is with me in the house, and he hath committed all that he hath to my hand.
Yes.
There is none greater in this house than I. Neither have he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife.
Go ahead.
How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?
Did Joseph love that brother?
Loved him.
Y'all see that?
Yeah.
But what he said out of his mouth, I can't sin against God. So in not sinning against God, the result is you loving your brother.
That's right.
Y'all see that? We talking love here in the truest meaning of what it is. Okay? So Joseph loved that brother because he stood fast in being obedient to his God. And it results in you loving your fellow man, brother and sister, okay? So now, let's go Galatians 6. Because we're supposed to deal in a certain way with our people, with our brothers and sisters. Genesis 6, just one verse. Galatians 6 and verse 1. Because every now and then, a brother or sister may fall off the wagon and try to commit suicide. What do we do about that? Galatians 6 and 1. Go ahead and read it.
Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness.
In the spirit of what?
In meekness.
Go ahead.
Considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted.
Y'all see that? So you go to your brother and your sister in meekness. Don't beat them up. Don't try to hit them too hard. Just go in a way that, with the thought process that, hey, this could be me. Let me go in a way that I would want somebody to come to me if it was me. Y'all understand that?
Right.
That's what we're talking about here. So now, let's go to 1 Peter chapter 3. 1 Peter 3, and let's pick it up at verse 8. This is a simple lesson. It ain't a super long lesson. It ain't complicated at all. We just showing you that love looks and smells a certain kind of way. And we showing you according to this Bible, okay? 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 8, my brother. Verse 8. Go ahead and read it.
Finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another.
Yes.
Love as brethren. Be pitiful. Be courteous.
Y'all see that? That's how you're supposed to treat your sisters and brothers. Be pitiful. Be courteous. Love them. Be compassionate. I heard somebody say that his grandmother told him a long time ago, if you treat everybody like you treat me, you'll be all right. Y'all see that? Because most of us treat our grandmother, we real gentle with her. We're real respectful. Whatever she asks us to go and do, we going to go do it. Go bring me this. We're going to go bring it to you. You see? Help me with this. You go over there and help. So, but it's the same thing that we're looking at right here. It says, having compassion one to another, love as brethren, be pitiful and courteous. Go ahead and read.
Not rendering evil for evil, or railing for railing.
And you're not supposed to do that. If people rail on you and they're going to render some evil, they're going to speak evil of you. But you just move on. Keep reading.
But contrariwise, blessing.
Yes.
Knowing that ye are thereunto called, that ye should inherit a blessing.
Go ahead.
For he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil, and his lips that speak no guile.
That's right.
Let him eschew evil and do good. Let him seek peace and ensue it.
It says, let him seek peace and ensue that peace. Why is that, brother?
For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers.
Don't we want the Lord to hear our prayers and answer them?
Yes, sir.
Then you have to do what is required of you in order for him to hear them and answer them. Because there are people that he does not hear and he will not answer. And we can read that to you. Go ahead and read.
But the face of the Lord is against them that do evil.
Y'all see that? Evil people, he don't answer their prayers. Okay? And it says he turned the people that turn their ear away from hearing the law, even their prayers abomination. Okay? So now, let's go into Titus 3. Because right here, Peter said, hey, he said, refrain your tongue from evil and your lips that they speak no guile. Okay? So let's see what Titus said right here. 3, and let's pick it up at verse 1, brother. Titus 3 and 1. Go ahead and read it.
Put them in mind to be subject to principalities and powers, to obey magistrates, to be ready to every good work.
Yes.
To speak evil of no man.
To do what, brother?
To speak evil of no man.
Do y'all see that, brothers and sisters? We read say you ought to speak evil of no man, because that could even lead to something else. Okay? It's almost like when Ahab went in the house. And it was like he was speaking evil against me. Nabal wouldn't even give me the land. And then it led to his wife going and do something. Y'all see that? Somebody might hear you and do something. It says, speak evil of no man. Go ahead and read.
To be no brawlers, but gentle, showing all meekness unto all men.
Showing all meekness unto who?
All men.
Go ahead.
For we ourselves also were sometimes foolish, disobedient, deceived, serving diverse lusts and pleasures, living in malice and envy, hateful, and hating one another.
And I'm telling y'all right now, if you break a commandment against one of your brothers and sisters, you hate them. Okay? So now, let's go into Jude 1. And because we just read here, it said, hey, speak evil of nobody. Okay? Now watch this. Jude, it's just one chapter. Let's pick it up at verse 6. Pick it up at verse 6 in Jude, because we are not supposed to speak evil of anybody. If we see somebody doing something, we're supposed to go to that person, how we read it in Galatians, in meekness, and say, look, brother, you need to tighten that up. You see what I'm saying? Or you was dead wrong for that. Okay? You my brother, so I got to tell you, because we can read that, hey, what's the word? Open rebuke is better than hidden love, or something like that. That's how it go. Secret love. So yeah, so go to your brothers. Hey man, or to your sister, hey, you wasn't right when you did that. Right. But anyway, let's pick it up at verse 6. Go ahead and read it.
And the angels, which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness, unto the judgment of the great day.
So we talking the unclean angels, the unclean spirits, right? Go ahead and read.
Even as Sodom and Gomorrah, and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication, and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire.
Go ahead.
Likewise, also these filthy dreamers defile the flesh, despise dominion, and speak evil of dignity.
Go ahead.
Yet Michael, the archangel, which when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses.
So it says Michael, the archangel, right? So he disputed with Moses, he disputed with Satan about Moses. Go ahead and read.
Durst not bring against him a railing accusation.
But he wouldn't even bring any accusations against Satan. And everybody know, and of course the angel knew that Satan was a sinner. He's a father of lies, but even Michael wouldn't say any accusations against Satan. And we're supposed to be like that with our brothers, okay? Go ahead and finish that.
But said, the Lord rebuke thee.
He told Satan to his face, the Lord rebuke you, Satan. You see what I'm saying? So we can't go around doing that to our brothers and sisters. We can't speak evil of anybody. That's another way that you show love. Y'all see that? So now, let's go back to Genesis and look at a different kind of what love looked like. Genesis 29, one of my favorite stories in this whole book. Wow. I mean, if y'all just go sit down on the 29th, 30th, 31st verse of Genesis, man, it's like you just watched a mini movie, okay? Genesis 29. Pick it up at verse 15, brother. 29 and 15. And some of you sisters, if that man say he love you, look at this. Go ahead and read.
And Laban said unto Jacob, because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be?
So he asked Jacob, what do you want your wages to be for working for me? Skip down to verse 18. What did he say?
And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel thy younger daughter.
So he said, I'll work for you for 7 years if you give me your daughter. That's some love right there. Because like I said before, there's some brothers won't go to work for 7 minutes for you. For some of these sisters. They ain't going to do no work. Right. Unless it consists of a PlayStation game controller. I work that. So he said, I'll work for 7 years if you give me your daughter. Skip down to verse 20 and continue.
And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel. And they seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had to her.
Y'all see that? So he made a sacrifice. And as we started the lesson off, hey, Jesus loved you, so he sacrificed for you. Sometimes love is shown through a person giving up some or sacrificing something. You see that? Sometimes you just got to give up something. If you want it, if it's that valuable to you, and they mean that much to you. So go ahead and read. He said it seemed like it was for what?
But a
few
few
days. Y'all see that? Go ahead and read.
And Jacob said unto Laban, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled.
Yes.
That I may go in unto her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast.
So he set up this big old party, okay, made a feast. Of course, alcohol was involved, I'm sure. Go ahead and read.
And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to him. And he went in unto her.
So while it's dark in the middle of the night and you're full, your belly full, and you got some alcohol on you probably, instead of bringing Rachel, her daddy slid her sister up in there with Jacob. And Jacob wake up the next day, realized the wrong one came in the tent. So let's see what happened. Skip down to 25 and continue.
And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, what is this thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me?
He said, man, I work for Rachel. Why did you deceive me? Okay, go ahead and read.
And Laban said, it must not be so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn.
So he said, man, we got a custom around here that I'm not going to break that custom. I'm not going to marry off my younger daughter and my older daughter still here. Right. So that's why I did that. But what else did he say to Jacob? Go ahead.
Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me, yet 7 other years.
So he said, if you serve me 7 more years, then I'll give it to you for sure this time. Go ahead and read.
And Jacob did so.
Do y'all see that he did it? So so at this point, he worked 14 years for the sister. Sisters, that's what love looks like. Okay? Brother gonna do something for you. Huh? Go ahead and read.
And fulfilled her week. And he gave him Rachel, his daughter, to wife also.
Y'all see that? So he sacrificed something. He ended up working there another 6+ years. He was there 20 years. And the brother won't do something for 7 minutes for you. And you thought he loved you.